Hello, hello, hello. Good to see everybody. I did the stupid stampy one. I didn't mean to do that. What's up, everybody? Good to see you, Carolina Keith. I'm an idiot, dude. Good to see everybody. Hope you had an awesome week. I certainly had a very, very good week of back and forth price action with not exactly know what was going to happen, all bundled up with a lot of red. But hey, we were kind of planning for this, weren't we? Kind of talked about this might happen. I, for one, kind of expected it. A lot of us in the 786 Assassins here expected it. I actually had just a little bit of stables, and I moved a little bit of positions around just yesterday. So I'm pretty tickled so far. Things are working out kinda the way we thought they just might work out. So how about we have a look at the chart, shall we? And we shall. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It costs nothing. While you're there, hit the little subscribe bell. Again, costs nothing. And never miss notifications while you're around. You'll see every stream that we do. You'll not miss it, as we say in the South. So let's just dig right on into the meat of this. Really cool. Let me first say that we have a Bitcoin halving incoming here, and I haven't I had this pulled up but I deleted it. All right, here we go. 21 hours, roughly 8 o'clock tomorrow Eastern, tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. evening. We should have our halving come in case you guys don't really know what that means. I'm amazed that you don't, but essentially it becomes twice as hard to mine any crypto in the form of Bitcoin using the same algorithm that you were before. You can't get it out as easy, and then when you get it out, you only get half as much. So what this does is create a supply and demand event. Essentially, when there's less of it out there, what is out there is worth more. All right, just like gold coming out of the ground. In case any of you have ever been gold mining, most of you probably haven't. I have. It's very, very difficult to find even a speck of gold. All right. And then once you find it, you get as much as you can because it's likely you're not going to keep finding any. All right. We've been waiting for this moment for 4 years, hanging out, watching. We have a live watch party tomorrow in our Discord, in our events tab. Go check it out. It's free for everyone to come hang out. Just come hang out and shoot the bull with us during halving. I'm going to have some drinks. We'll shoot the bull and talk it up, have a good time as a fan. So anyway, this supply and demand event, historically speaking, has always created higher prices simply because the demand doesn't go away, but the supply is reduced. It's very simple. And when that happens at anything in real life, the price goes up, whether that be vehicles, cars with mortgages. You guys saw that, how that happened in the last year and a half with mortgages, how they went up because the demand went up. So the price went up. That's the way this stuff works, all right? More houses get built, well, then the demand goes down and the prices come down, but that takes a little bit of time for it to happen. Well, same thing can be said about Bitcoin and crypto. Let's say hey to everybody first, because I really want to kind of hang out and just talk some crap and look at some charts with you guys tonight, all right? We'll talk about some support and resistance and some other little things, but it ain't all about digging into a bunch of TA on stuff. You guys already know what's about to happen for the next year and a half. Everything's going to go up in value. It may not be immediately, but everything will go up in value. I think everyone's smart enough to know that. And if you don't, well, now you know because it just told you. It's all based on supply and demand. What's up, Bernardo? Good to see you, Ron Poteet. What's up, Mullet? My cousin Jeremy, Nick Arellano, Jeff Thomas, Jordan Paradise. Good to see you, brother. Manolo, what's up? My guy. Guillermo, what's up? Dr. G. Slutty Roo, how are you? Fritz. What's up, Rob? Phonetic Duck, what's up? Red Stuff, good to see you. Colo, good evening, 786. I'm a bit downbeat all week. My bestie lost his mom. Hey, prayers up. That sucks, man. All right, what's up, Nate? Good to see you. Cycling Cop, what's up, Josh? What's up, Mr. John? John is Acre Creek. Good to see you, brother. Geek with a Gun, how are you? Mark Estrada, what's up, my guy? Tex, what's up? Cannon, what's up? MT Matt, good to see you, brother. I love it when the old heads are on here. Chewy Chief, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Andreas, how are you? Papa Nick, what's up? Mark, what's up? Good to see you guys. So let's jump into the weekly charts first, because I told a lot of you I was going to try to look at weekly charts here for a while rather than look at daily charts. It's not worth the stress of freaking out and panicking about constantly nonstop 24/7 365. So here we are. As we talked about before, we are sitting on major support here from our previous all-time high and breakout back in 2020 and 2021. And at the end of 21 going into 2022 here, that was a terrible arrow right there. More support. As you see though, if I zoom in a little bit here and get a little closer, you'll see that support was a little lacking up here and a little bit stronger back here. What is support? What am I talking about? Well, it's very simple. Whenever we have groups of candles in any spot on the chart, groups of candles in any spot, that creates resistance and support. And the way we determine whether they resistance or support is the price above it or below it, right? So we can go through real quick and mark some different spots on the chart that show support and resistance with some simple circles, all right? So I got my drawing tool here, always on the left, a little brush. See, if I draw, it's green. I'm going to change that to, let's do yellow. Or no, tell you what, let's just do white. It's nice and bright, and it contrasts very well with the background. So I can kind of go through here and draw in some different areas where there's price action, which is where candles start and stop. Price action in groups where it's formed and made support and resistance. Just let's start back for the last year and a half, all right, back to 2023. So we had a formation of candles down here, a group here, group here, group here, group here. As you see, some up here, a very, very tiny amount right here, and we're at where we're at now. As you see, a lot of different lumps have formed along the way, support and resistance as we've climbed up the hill here little by little. As we got over this and the price got above this lump, you see price tended to just stay above it. Very nice, testing support. This level finally broke and it never even tested support. It just stayed way above it. Excellent. This level created support because price broke above it. And on we go. This tiny little blob right here created support because price broke above it. Very nice. We have tons of support all through here, just in case the price ever decides to try to come back down there, it won't just blow through easily. Looking back farther than that, on a weekly chart, by the way, you can kind of see lots of support back here, all in one spot, support right here in one spot, support here, support here. And since the price is above all of these, price is way up here at the top of this green box, we're all at support here. Worst case Ontario, you dig into support a little bit, which is kind of what's happening right now. You're digging into support, looking for a place to hang on and catch a shelf to hold on to before things get really gnarly. All right? That's what support is. Have you ever fallen down on the sidewalk and, hey man, I need some help getting up, and a person reaches out and uses their hand and says, let me help you up. And they grab your hand and they pull you up and you say, you good? Ah, yeah, you dust yourself off. I'm good. I'm right back at it. That's support. Resistance would be someone sees you sitting on the sidewalk, and rather than reach their hand out to help you, they stiff arm you and say, back down you go. That would be if we were under these areas of support and resistance, but we are not under them. In fact, not only are we over them, but I drew boxes here, right, to show where the support and resistance was. Now, I'll put this box back up here. Just at the top of this box, where a lot of candles on the daily started and stopped, and I've got it highlighted on the weekly here, but on the daily, there are even more. There's a lot of support in this area. And as you see, here's the price line right here. It's just at the top of this little segment of support at the moment. It could go down deeper into support, which is roughly about 57.5, 58. All right. Seen this happening for a while, trying to be like pinpoint, dead on balls accurate, to quote my cousin Vinny, is a little bit much. It's a little bit much to try to be that cute with it and that perfect with it. So rather than do that, I'm looking for areas or places to buy and sell. This entire green box is the last chance, in my opinion, for us to buy in before halving tomorrow kicks off. And we just don't have very much down after that. It's possible that we take one very snappy stab and take it, all of our liquidity would be used up at that point. You'd wipe out all the longs with one more good red candle, right? I think everyone could understand that. But anything down in this green box is a buying opportunity as we approach Bitcoin halving and a supply and demand event that will take us higher in price. You want to buy on red days. You want to think about selling on green days. This is a fundamental problem that every single crypto person has, all right? Focus for a minute, folks. I need you to understand, on green days, you do not run to your phone or run to your PC to buy. On green days, we run to our PC or reach for our phone to sell a little bit. Now, why is that? Because for the rest of the market, you're wanting to buy low and sell high, not the other way around. We don't chase green candles. We see big green candles come in. We look at the chart and we say, this thing has this much percent up to the next level. You know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe that's a bit of a reach. Maybe I shouldn't push it that far. This kind of stuff. When we think about it, maybe I should find something else that looks a little bit better. This is a way better way of going about it. If you already own that asset, and I own a lot of the assets I'm talking about here, and they shoot up in price, you go, hey, I thought this might happen. Let me mark my spots like I've done with these green boxes here. And you say, when I hit this green box on the way up, I'm going to sell a little bit. I'm going to take some profits and I'm going to move it over here where I'd already planned to move my money just because I want to lock some of these wins in. You will change the game for yourself. Change the game completely for yourself by selling green candles and buying red candles. And I don't mean every 5 minutes. That's too much, okay? You really don't have to drop down lower than a daily. And if you want to stay on a weekly chart, that's perfectly fine as well. All these tools we have for technical analysis, keep it very, very simple, all right? You buy low, you sell high. Do not be the sucker who falls for the red candle. Oh my God, I'm freaking out, I got to get out. Or the green candle, oh my God, I've got to go run and buy. Be ahead of this. That's why we do what we do here, everyone. We want you to be ahead of the game, not behind the game. And I hope everyone can take that and use that as some sound advice moving forward. And if you haven't hit the like button, please go hit the like button. 79 people on, 44 people have hit like. Go hit like, man. It's free stuff here. We do free TA on YouTube for everyone to come see and everyone to understand that everyone can be a part of the chart world and be a little bit smarter than everybody else out there on crypto Twitter. You thought crypto Twitter was bad so far? You just wait what's going to happen in about 7 months. All right, when everything's starting to peg the meter up top. All right, then let's see how bad crypto Twitter and crypto Reddit and all these other stupid places get. It's going to be a cesspool if it already wasn't bad enough. All right, now back to the charts. So again, green box, buy zone. Let me show you the side-by-side that I've been looking at. I say we have been looking at for quite a while now. 2016 on the left, 2024 on the right. These are nearly identical, not perfectly, but nearly identical. You can see on the right, we're moving a little bit more of a consolidation pattern where the left was a little bit more snappy. Well, you had 1,000 times the money in the market that you had back then, okay? So you can expect things to be a touch different. What I note here, I've drawn out a couple scenarios that I think could play out. All right, scenario one, we don't go any lower than 60,000, which we've already hit what looks like perfectly 2 times. And I'll pull that back up over here so you can see what I'm looking at. And basically I grabbed my recent, I'll put this in linear mode, my recent low and my last high, and I pulled the fib for this. And I just kind of followed the trend line doing so, okay? So I'm gonna, one more. I'm gonna grab my low. I'm gonna pull it up here to the high. I'm gonna drag my fib over. Match my high right there, my low right here, and use my little trend line to kind of get close to somewhere around in there and be as close as I can. It gotta be perfect, just get close. And what we see here is so far we have ever so perfectly touched that 618 golden pocket fib so far. It's possible that we don't go any lower than this. It's possible. Second scenario, we test this level for a little bit. There's some relief here, a little bit of relief. We move sideways somewhat. And the last ditch effort sell-off happens, and we make a run for Sniper's Alley here, just like we did back in 2016. Now, the thing is, this only lasted about a day, not much longer than that, and it was over. So the question is, are you going to have the time to catch that? Are you going to have the time to be like hardcore watching and see it happen? And if the answer is no, well, I wouldn't bother. I would just buy when you can and not necessarily at the perfect time. If you want to try to get it perfect, great. Just be careful. It may not happen. You may not be able to catch that move. The move might not even happen. This is why I say anywhere in this green box is a buy for me. I'm here for it. I'm going to try to buy as much as I can. I just got some money ready today to buy with. Okay. I'm here for it. I like the buy pressure that I'm seeing right here as it bounces off this fib. And what do I mean by buy pressure? I like the wicks that it's forming as it's hit that 618 level. You can see that 618 level get hit. And look at the wicks that are pulling up here on the bottom of these candles. This shows me, just like back here, that it doesn't just want to quit. It doesn't just want to give up. It wants to hang on here. It doesn't just want to bend over and quit. That buy pressure shows me that buyers are watching and buyers are aware of what's going on and they're doing their best to hold the price up. So it's not just a quitting effort here, right? It's not just a give up effort and this bearishness is just dominating the bulls. That's not happening at all. You're seeing a clean fight between them, all right? Which is cool, Want to see that continue. Note, please, that we are, I don't know why, but I don't know why it's not on here, but let me put it on here for you. Here's halving. That is technically today. So I'm going to put that line there because it's a 24-hour clock, not the normal clock. And then we have a FOMC meeting, on the 1st of May. I'll label that for us. What's really keen is the correspondence between what the government was doing in 2016 versus what the government's doing now. Back in 2016, I'll move to the left here. All the rates you see in yellow, which are meetings where the federal government announces their rates. Usually cutting rates means price go up. Usually raising rates means price go down. Look on the left here. All these lines, they didn't cut or raise rates. They kept them flat. But look what the charts did. All the way till December, these rates were flat rates. And then price went up without it. Once they cut rates, we went exponentially higher. Okay. We went parabolic at that point. But at first, there was nothing happening. Anything that the government did didn't matter. Price still went up post halving. Now, yes, there was a little bit of a sell-off. Okay. Yes. Question is, do we get that same sell-off now that the market is more mature than it was 8 years ago? Or do we get a similar retrace? Do we get the exact same retrace? Do we get no retrace? Well, from what I see on the buy pressure so far, it doesn't want to just give up. That's good. I like that it's sitting at the golden pocket and hasn't just outright coughed its own feet up and died in front of us. That's good. This shows me that it doesn't want to quit, that it's trying to fight. And I like the fight rather than the give up mentality. If I put some moving averages here, you'll see similarly down here at the bottom is the 100 moving average. That's at about 56,900, roughly 57. It looks like we're angling toward this 100-day moving average. And if you look back in history over here at 2016, it blew right through that like it wasn't even there. And it made a run for the 200 moving average, which is way down there at $47,000. Is that possible? Yes, it is possible. Is it probable? I doubt it. I think there's got to be some sideways in here somewhere. I think we need to consolidate a little bit, and I think buyers need to kind of have a little bit of a moment to think about it. Sellers need to have a little bit of a moment to think about it. They can come to a mutual understanding after a little bit of sideways, and then we'll see what happens. I can look at that and see that's the case. I'm going to take these fibs off here. We've already seen that. About throwing the Bollinger Bands on. Now, the Bollinger Bands are a pretty cool indicator. Essentially, what this indicator shows us is volatility. When these bands are narrow or tight together, as you see back here, we typically see an increase in volatility in one way or the other. Doesn't really matter which direction. I just want to see that volatility. Likewise, when they're very wide, we tend to increase the probability that we're going to go sideways or keep doing what we have been doing. Right now, we've been up and sideways. As you see, up and sideways, up and sideways. So while it feels like we're going down as we're so high up in the air, it's nothing to really stress over. As you see, we're still way up from where we were. I mean, prices were $17,000, $16,000 back here at the beginning of 2023. And we're all the way up at 61,000. I think everyone loses sight of the big picture sometimes because you go to social media and you see a bunch of crap like that there's a war going on and that's why prices went down. That's so lazy. Stop. What are you doing? Why waste your time worrying about things that you cannot control? Why? This is how you know people won't be able to hold on to this money when they get it. When they're so worried about all the things that they can't control, they're bound to lose control. It's that simple. So I urge you all, turn off the news, turn off social media, turn off your favorite influencer, even if that happens to be me. Turn it off and hit the charts, man. It's really as simple as that. I don't want to see everyone get caught up in a bunch of mess and ticked off and mad and upset and pissed off. It doesn't need to happen that way, all right? We can just hit the charts and do it ourselves. There's an old saying, if you want something to do right, you got to do it yourself. Okay, well, this is the same situation, right? You want something done right, hit the charts and do it yourself. Forget what I say and forget what any influencer says. I mean, as simple as that. I can't change what you see on the screen. I'm just here following it like you are, okay? So anyway, Bollinger Bands are a bit wide right now, and we're still over the midline, which is this orange line that you see right here. So I'm still inclined to think more up and sideways than down. Now that can change. That midline's sitting at about 53,500. All right. I got good confluence from 55 to now where we're at 61. Right. Let's see if it can hang on. Let's see if it can flip this back green. I mean, we were down 5.5% just an hour and a half ago, and now we're down 2.5%. So it's already recovered some of this blood it spilled. And it was a very rapid fall. We were watching it pretty closely. Look at how the daily Bollinger Bands pinched in here, and now they're starting to widen out again. Let's see if they continue this widening, or if they start to consolidate a little bit more and we see these Bollinger Bands tighten. If that happens, then you're likely to see a simple move sideways and bounce in between support and resistance over and over again, back and forth, as these Bollinger Bands continue to squeeze in. All right, if that happens, that just tells you that the market's waiting until the 1st of May when FOMC comes in to see what happens. And I mean, obviously, we can look at that and go, yeah, the government ain't going to cut rates. We know that. They're probably going to keep them flat. So I can anticipate more of the same. Then we'll see, do we get our big last down move or not? I think there's got to be some sideways in here. You're starting to feel a little bit of the pain. You know, we had come on live streams multiple times and said, where's the pain? Where is the hurt? Where everyone goes, oh man, this sucks. Well, now we're hitting that point. That's finally happening. We needed to see that happen for that fear-greed index to come down a little bit. Fear-greed index is pretty darn simple, everybody. When the charts are way up, everyone's greedy. When the charts are way down, everyone is fearful. So buy low, sell high. It's very simple. Quit freaking out and doing all the other things that you don't need to do. Oh man, let me run to Twitter and see what this person's saying. Oh, look, this person. Stop. Not necessary. All right, so there's my Bitcoin outlook. Let's look at Ethereum, and then I want to go to XRP. Then I want to do, on the last half here, let's do some end of the bull market projections and have a little hopium and a drink, right? But we got 5 more minutes first. All right, so here's Ethereum. I've been trying to do some basic DCA buys on this thing with profits. When I have profits from something, I put them over into Ethereum. I kind of thought about buying more Ethereum here. I don't know. I'm a little stuck on that. I'm not sure. I do like the fact that she bounced around on the back side of this 50 fib, because I pulled a fib like this, looking for it to come up here and break through. I pulled it from the top to the bottom inversely, right? That trend broke right around here. So far, we're trucking north, and I can pull this fib out here to the end of December, because that's probably when the market stops, end of November. Between October and December, I think that's the end of the bull market, based on the math. So I can pull a fib out there. I like the fact that we bounced the top side of this 50 fib. That's good. I like to see it maintain that for the rest of the remainder of the time, which means it can't go too much more down, because then it's going to have failed that line. I'd prefer if they held on to it. If that's the case, then we can get back up here to where we were by end of summer. And then toward the end of the year, make a push to see if we can't get through Sniper's Alley and through all-time high. We'll see. I expect Ethereum to kind of lag behind here a bit, behind Bitcoin, because, well, simply put, it always has before. That was in linear mode. Now, if I flip the log mode, I get a similar look, only the 50 fib is way lower. So I'm able to look at this and go, well, as long as this thing hangs on to the golden pocket here, good to go. I just don't want to see it fall a whole bunch farther, okay? It looks to me like a lot of these are going to break through all-time high, especially if they're fiddling around with all-time high in Sniper's Alley now as compared to much, much later. The sooner they do it, the better, because that gives them more time throughout the rest of the bull market to make their move. All right, so here's kind of what it did last time. Right here around halving, it was just over the 50 fib, right near the golden pocket. July was right, halving was right around here. Okay, so it bounced around on the 50 fib, and then it took off, and by the end of the year had gotten to all-time high and just barely got over all-time high and closed. And when that happened, for the rest of the remainder of the bull market, Ethereum essentially just went up. All right, so we can kind of look back at that and go, well, maybe the same thing kind of happens this time. Potentially, we're higher up we were last time already. All right, we were down here at the 50 fib at this point last time. Now we're way up here at the 618 golden pocket 71 fib. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Get a breakthrough, get up here toward all-time high, get above all-time high by the end of the year. Oh man, that sets us up great. In fact, it sets up an easy move to 10,000. I actually don't think 10,000 is the top here for Ethereum. I'm thinking more along the lines of 14,000, because that's the 1618 extension upward. Now, the previous bull market before the last one, we actually went much, much higher than that. We went to the 2 fib or the 2.272 fib. And for Ethereum, that's $42,000 Ethereum. Now, for what it's worth, everyone, to me, that feels like hopium, and I don't want to go there. I really don't want to go there. I would love for the price to get up there, but I don't want to go down hopium road. Fair enough. So I'm going to stick to, for now, 14,000. I think Ethereum could hit 14,000. 10,000 seems like a layup. 14,000 makes more sense. And we'll see after that. It's possible we make some runs to these 2 fibs. Now, that being said, we'll go look at Ethereum, Bitcoin again in a moment, and kind of go over that, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Real quick, let's say hey to everyone else. Lunatic Prophet, Paolo, Cody Kinsel, Eric Denham Logic, Raging Beagle again. Jim Monroe, good evening, bro. Let's see. Don Manna, what's up, dude? Mark Estrada. The Love Finger, how to find gold coin in crypto. Tell me its short name. I don't know what that is, bro. You got me. But what I do have, the best crypto person in all of Hawaii. You heard me right. The best crypto person in all of Hawaii. My man, Diego sent me this. Some Blanton's, fresh bottle, unopened. Oh, we're going to crack this open. We don't have Bitcoin halving very often. So wax seal is still on this joint. There's the wax seal. Ooh, this is going to be good. Let's see if we can get a cork pop. It was all right. It was more of a squeak, not a pop. So, as we approach our second halving live streaming, This has been an amazing trip. It's been wild going down this road with all of you. I never thought that I would be here, yet here we are. Um, the fact that 100 people are on here hanging out with me as we drink whiskey and celebrate together is amazing to me. It lets me know that there's people out there who are not enthralled by the hopium, who are not stuck on stupid, and who are ready to make something better themselves. We say this all the time, but we try to be the adults in the room when it comes to crypto. And I'm going to continue trying to be the adult in the room when it comes to crypto. Not be a degenerate, do the right thing, pay it forward, teach as much as you can, get the message out there. All right. So we're going to have free TA classes in our Discord for anyone who's in there. All you got to do is come in and hang out, and you'll get free one-on-one consults. Not really one-on-one. It's one on me telling everyone, but it's all part of it. WAP.com/team786. This link expires tomorrow. And after that, there is no more, and we'll only open it for special occasions or maybe never. All right. So that's it. When there's no more room, there's no more room. Simple as that. Okay. We're going to keep it family-like atmosphere. We're not ever going to get too big. We're going to make sure that everyone gets treated equally in our Discord, that there's no special treatment. And we're going to make as much money as we can together. And when it's all over, at the end of this, we're all going to hang out and party together as adults. We're not going to be kids and be idiots, but we are going to hang out. We'll have another meetup like we did last time. We met in Vegas last time. It was awesome. We did Vegas twice. We'll meet in Vegas maybe this time, perhaps Miami, perhaps somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. There's a certain few people in crypto who like to go to the same places we go. We'll make sure we go somewhere that they don't go. How about that? All right. We'll figure it out as we go. I happen to love the Yucatan, but I know not everyone can leave the country, or not everyone wants to leave the country. So we'll figure that out as we go. But nonetheless, cheers. Let's have some Blantons. Oh, it smells good. By the way, this is single barrel. Blanton's single barrel, straight bourbon whiskey, the original single barrel bourbon whiskey. See that right there? Ye original. Let's have a drink. Oh, that's smooth. Let's go. So this was bottle number 255. It was bottled on 6/4/21, warehouse H, on Rick number 34 from barrel number 332, at 93 proof, bottled by hand. How cool is that? How cool is that? It's the little things in life that you don't realize how well things do or how good things go. But man, look, it's been a hell of a run this time we've had. Been doing this since 2018. And honestly, I never thought we'd get as far as we got. But here we are. When in 2019, when we were kicked off the island, because we didn't agree with what other people said, what other the hopium people come out and said. We didn't agree with that, so we were removed. We could have quit. We could have quit and just did the hopium thing and just stuck in XRP, and we'd never made any money. We didn't do that. We made a move. We planned ahead. We stuck to the data. And while we made mistakes along the way, we made a ton of money. More money than I could have imagined. So, hopefully, we can pull that off again. And last bull run wasn't even a big bull run. It was a good one, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as big as the last few. So my hope is we get that good bull run this time. We open up everyone's eyes. We open up the world to what we do. More people see it. More people realize we've been saying this stuff for a long time. And more people come join the family when the next cycle comes. Now, one more drink and then we'll look at XRP, shall we? And we shall. Oh, that's good stuff, man. Good stuff, dude. A lot of vanilla, a lot of oak. I love it. I love it. Crypto Ho, good to see you. Panda, my friend, good to see you. Ariana, how are you? Paulo. He said, what's your point? That's a good barrel, Marcus Strata said, right? All right, so XRP let me pull up the drawing that I've got to kind of show you again what we're dealing with here. All right. So got XRP pulled up here on a weekly chart. Now you saw me share this multiple times. Let me explain. Just like I showed you with Bitcoin and Ethereum earlier, where I showed you support and how it was holding on to it and didn't want to just let go. Same story here goes for XRP. There's a lot of support down here from 45 cent down to 40 cent, really. It doesn't appear that XRP wants to let go of that support, which is great. That shows us that it wants to hang on and doesn't want to roll over and give up like it has done in the past. So far, she's holding on to this yellow box of support here, roughly in that same area of the buy zone that we drew months ago. Months ago, we talked about how XRP would get down to this level, roughly into the buy zone. Once it got into the buy zone, this was probably it. It's probably our last chance to get in cheap and low, because from here forward, halving, everything else, you're not going to get many down moments, many moments of oof. And once those moments are gone, you got nothing left and it's only up and sideways. You missed your opportunity to get super hella cheap. So we actually went a little faster than I thought it would. I thought it would hang out up here around 55 to 50 cent. Well, obviously she took a tumble to under 50 cent, but nonetheless, still within the buy zone parameters here. I could slide this over to halving. I'm trying to be a little bit more picky. I think this, like I said earlier, I think some things need to go sideways for a bit here and consolidate, let some buyers and sellers think it out. Haven't done that yet. It's been very volatile. So for that reason, I think we probably trail over here to the right into the buy zone. And once we get into this buy zone, well, guess what, folks? You shouldn't be seeing a ton more down throughout there. Likely it's over by the end of June. I think by the end of May, it's over. And by over, I mean all the big down, I think. One step at a time, though. I'm really pulling hairs here trying to be perfect. And I only do that because I can't stand all the stupid, terrible XRP charts that I see all over X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And I see people glorifying the stupidity. You're making us real TA guys look terrible. And the more stupidity like that goes out on the internet, the worse guys like us who are trying our best to keep the hopium out of this, keep it legit, makes us look even worse. It makes it look dumber. It keeps people from getting the message. That's why I say ignore that stuff and don't look, because it's just an emotional clickbait. All right. Don't be the fool who clicks on the clickbait. It's really that simple. Don't be the fool who clicks on the clickbait. Now, this thing's going to struggle to get its feet. And by struggle to get its feet, I say that because all the moving averages are bunching up here at around 57 to 50 cents. It's not just going to give up here and go way up. It's going to get stuck in the mud a little bit because all these moving averages are starting to roll over here and come back down. And it's got to make its way through every single one of them slowly. This is why I say all this period in here is buy zone, because it's likely going to chop through this. And chop through this just means back and forth sideways. All right. Makes sense. Kind of see it happening. If we pull up the weekly chart, you'll see that we failed the 200 and the 50 moving average and the 821 EMA in here. And the only thing we've got holding on to the price right now is that 100 weekly moving average. But the good news is it is still holding on to that. Now, not much more room there for failure, is there? So let's keep a close eye on this, because if this fails farther, things could get ugly. I've already got my position on this. I'm comfortable with leaving it alone where I've got my position. I've got about $3 grand in this worth of profits taken from other items and put over into here. So by doing that, I've kind of ensured that I'm going to make some money, because I think it's obvious that this thing will eventually break out. When it does break out, it's likely, as I've drawn this out here, it's likely to bump its head on the 75 cent to 80 cent area here. I don't think it just blows through that. I think it's probably going to get hung up and stuck a little bit. And it'll take some time to kind of think about it. And maybe the end of the summer, it kind of chops out until we get into the end of the year, when I expect more up. I do expect more up by the end of the year. If this plays out perfect, that would be amazing. I just don't think it will. I lean toward chopping out, bumping its head and coming down here and then going up, right? that makes a whole lot more sense because that's what it's done historically. I'm on the hopium end and thinking that this thing breaks 75 cents by the summer. Because if it can do that, break 75 cents for the summer, well, that opens up a ton of possibilities. That opens up a chance at running up and breaking all-time high. It hasn't done that in 6 years. We'll see if it does it this time. Now, obviously, you don't expect it to break all-time high. I don't expect it to break all-time high, but I would like it to, because that opens up a whole world of opportunities for you guys who've been in crypto since then, who've been failing since then, and I know who you are, and you know who you are, especially if you used to follow a certain few influencers. You haven't made any money on XRP this whole time. You've seen how much people have talked about how much money they've made, and you've made nothing. And I know this because I know the influencers haven't said they're selling, so you're not going to sell. Hey, folks, if you want to call me an influencer, go ahead, but I'm telling you, I will sell this when the time comes. I don't care. There's not a single XRP on the world that can make me not want to sell it, okay? Ain't got nothing to do with no Brad Garlic bread, no digital ledgers, no Nostro Vestro, none of that crap. I don't care. I'm going to sell it when the time comes. There's no sense in holding on to anything that's going to be a rotten egg. And at the end of all this, at the end of this bull market, we're going to have some rotten eggs, all right? Where do I see it going by the end of the bull market? Depends, all right? There are big guesses here. I don't like guessing, but we have to see some performance here first. Once I see some performance and you prove it to me, then we can renegotiate. I need to see it break 75 cents and hold it. I need to see it break $1.50 and hold it. Those two levels first. After that, we can talk about making a run at all-time high, which it could do by the end of 2025. And I think it would do it before the end of 2025. I think it would do it pre-summer if it was going to do it. We'll see. Not going to hold my breath. XRP is one. I hope does well, but I don't plan on it doing as much as everything else. At the end, all goes perfect, $6.50 to $7. Now, don't quote me on that. All right. It says my chat is connecting and disconnecting and reconnecting, and I have no clue or idea why. So just bear with it if it isn't working right over there for you folks. Yeah, just give it a minute if it isn't working right. That's how I see XRP. And I don't think it actually does get that high. I'm just preparing myself for the letdown. You know what I'm saying? I would anticipate the letdown, not the hopium. Never gotten anywhere anticipating hopium, has it? So don't do it now. All right, so let me bump out the BTC into the bull market possibilities here. All right, I've got the all-time high to low fibs pulled up here, and I've got them pulled out to the end of 2025. I think it's possible. That we reach 130,000 or higher by the end of the year. All right, if we can get up here by the end of the year where this purple line is, if we can get to that height by the end of the year, this sets up the opportunity for a blow off top. And I'll talk about the numbers with that blow off top in a moment. But first, let's talk about how the possibility sets up. Last bull market, this thing actually ran out to the upper fibs by halfway. All right, there you go. Halfway line right here. See that? And by halfway, she had basically gone all the way to the 1618 retrace upward all the way through the extensions. If that happens this time, that implants us up here around $175,000, which is roughly double of what the all-time high reset was here at 74,000. All right, it's actually about like 152, but 176 is pretty darn close. So give me 150 by the end of the year if everything went perfect. From there, if we can hang on to 100,000 and it retraces from 150 to 100, makes sense, about 38%. If it comes down to roughly 100, it has the ability to bounce up and try for a breakout toward this 2 fib or even the 2.72, which are hopium numbers here, 300,000 to $450,000 for one Bitcoin. Now, obviously, you can do the math and realize these numbers sound outrageous. And I would agree with you. Let's look at what the market cap would be if the same assets went to those points, just be a market cap. There we go. This is the actual money in Bitcoin, not the price of Bitcoin. This is the market cap money. If we hit that 1.618 level, which is what I do expect us to hit, that's 3.2 trillion just in Bitcoin. That number makes sense. And the reason I say it makes sense is because mathematically speaking, that's about 3.8 times what it was last time. Okay, that makes sense. Now, 3.2 trillion is also a multiple of other numbers, not really important. 3.2 is more so the number that I'm talking about. But that's just the 1618. That could happen by the end of this year. If that happens by the end of this year, that opens up the possibility of a blow off top. A blow off top would lead us toward $5.7 to $8 trillion in just Bitcoin. If that's the case, what would total market cap be at? Well, let's look and see. 8 trillion in Bitcoin. Remember that. I know it sounds wild. And I know it seems like hopium, but I want to get all this out there because not many people are going to be willing to put themselves out on the ledge here and talk about this stuff. And I don't really care if you like me or not. We have a private group now, and we're not going to be here to just care what everyone else thinks. We'll be talking about this stuff privately. So thought I would throw the bone out there first. 8 trillion was the 2.72 mark for Bitcoin. Total market cap, 18 trillion. That means 10 trillion would be left over for everything else. 18 trillion, 8 trillion, 10 trillion. That means that there'd be more in everything else than there would be in Bitcoin, or Bitcoin dominance would be less than 50%, because if it was half and half, right, it'd be 9 trillion and 9 trillion, but it's not. It would be total cap 10 trillion, just Bitcoin 8 trillion. All right, so more would be in everything else than just Bitcoin. That means Bitcoin dominance would have to go below 50%. Let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Is that even possible? Is that even possible? Here's Bitcoin dominance. All right, so right now we're sitting at 55%. Typically, Bitcoin goes to the 1618 golden pocket first before it falls over after halving. Right here's halving last time. You see it made a bit of a run right before halving, and then immediately went the other way after halving, all the way until the quote-unquote pandemic. Then it made a run back up, and then it really fell off the cliff at alt season. Here we are again. We didn't quite make it to the 1618 this time. And if I put this in linear mode, we're still under the 50 fib, in fact. So if this thing rolls over and quits, does a similar move, where we sweep down to roughly 50% and back up, roll over and come down, it's possible that we get to that 45 to 40% level down here that it ran to last time and stayed at last time. 40%, in fact, was the level it held throughout the entire remainder of the bull market and into the bear market. Okay? So what I'm saying is, if we got a blow off top and everything ran to 2.72 on the total market cap, that would be 18 trillion. 8 trillion of that would be in just Bitcoin alone, roughly 40 to 45% of the market cap. That other 10 trillion would be in everything else. Everything else. We could start doing the numbers and see what everything else would chop out to. How about Ethereum first? Market cap for Ethereum. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to drop. Now we saw 8 trillion for Bitcoin. If Ethereum did that, it would be $5.3 trillion. 5.3 of 18. That's roughly 36%. How about we go look at Ethereum dominance? Could we hit 36% dominance? Well, I don't know. So looking at the chart right now, she's been rolling over since 2021, and Ethereum dominance really hasn't taken off since last bull market. And you see last bull market, it did climb up there pretty exponentially. However, it's slowed down recently. 36% is way up here. All right, so we pull the fib on this and look, but I bet you it does not get to that level. Well, there it is. 30% to the 1618. If it did a 2.272, 40% dominance. I don't think it gets up that high based on the numbers that total market cap would have. Therefore, I can kind of rule out Ethereum going that high. Is it possible? Yeah, but that would be the 2 fib, not the 2.272. The math doesn't quite add up there, so I'm not exactly sure on that one. All right, how about XRP? XRP at $6, remember that? All right, here's XRP's market cap. 1.618 fib. If it did a 1.618 and got up there, that $6.5 to $7 region, that would be $300 billion in just XRP. All right, obviously that's way less than 18 trillion. So what would that mean for XRP.D? Here's dominance. XRP dominance absolutely taking it in the rear end. 10% of 18 trillion would be $1.8 trillion. Half of that would be 600 billion. A quarter of that would be 300 billion. So if we got 1/4 of the market cap of everything, then you would see XRP.D make enough sense to push XRP up that high. Could it get there? I doubt it. So it looks like XRP dominance might just run back to this green box because it's kind of what it's hit before. I would like to see it make this big shoot up right here that it did in 2016, but it's never done that again. And as a matter of fact, even back in the last bull market, it only did a miniature little shoot up here. So I'm kind of thinking it just runs back up to this box at roughly 4%, right? 10% would be 1.8 trillion. 5% again would be, that'd actually be 1.8. So half of 1.8 is 900 billion. 450 billion would be 4.5%, 5%. It's possible that if XRP.D got to 5%, then you would see the XRP at 1.618 overall. I know this math sounds crazy and it seems a little odd, but it's possible. All right. That's if XRP gets to 5%. I'm hopeful that it does that. Now I'm doubtful, but I'm hopeful. All right. This is some of the math that I've kind of gone through on these, trying to figure out what it would take market cap wise, money wise, for all this to happen, right? Realistically speaking, some of these are going to break hearts because I just don't think that they can get up there to some of these numbers that people want them to get up to. I just don't see it on the chart. And that doesn't mean that it can't do it. It just means it's going to be really difficult for them to get up there and perform at the level that people think they'll perform at. I kind of expect letdowns for what it's worth. I think people are going to get let down pretty hard here, and it's going to be hard for them to take it. But the fact is, it doesn't really matter what they want. They better be ready to take profits because if they don't, they'll rue the day. Let's see. $5.89 makes a whole lot more sense than $589, doesn't it? I had to work late. What's up, John? Good to see you, bro. 886 or 1 fib for most assets. I would say they have to be above the 50 fib, like you see Ethereum and Bitcoin are now, to qualify to be able to get to that 886, 786 level by the end of the bull market. They need to be over that 50 fib by the end of the year. And I'll give you an example now. Here is FTM. FTM is currently under the 50 fib. Right there is the 50 fib overall. And right now, FTM is under it. This needs to be above the 50 fib by the end of the year in order to maintain a high enough level to get up here to the 786, 886 level. If it can get up there and be above this 50 fib by the end of the year, then you can lock this in. This is happening. Okay. Thing is, it's got to get up there first. It's a guarantee if it can get up above it and stay above it. If it can't, you're really pushing the envelope on whether it will or not. As a matter of fact, being over the 50 fib opens up the possibility to break all-time high and make a run for our extensions. If I saw FTM get to $8, I'd be pretty darn tickled, not gonna lie. 65 cents right now. I just rebought some yesterday. After selling it, I sold down here. I sold up here, and I rebought down here. I saved myself about 38% by selling and rebuying. Pretty tickled about that. And it let me consolidate out of some pretty crappy ones that I was in that weren't doing so great. Because of that, that helped out a ton. I was able to increase my overall holding. And again, I'm going to sell all this stuff in the end anyway. So I just tried to make the most of what I could, and it worked out on this one. I've got some other ones that I could possibly do that with, but there's some that I can't do it with either because they're already now underwater. So I need to sit and wait on them. And those are the ones that I bought along the way in the last 4 months, right? And they're still fine, don't get me wrong. All these are going to go back above all-time high, above where I bought them. So I'm not super worried about it. I'm not trying to stress on it. Like I said before, we're approaching halving, and this is a bullish time, not a bearish time. And because of that, we need to be on our ball and be ready for that, and be ready to make the most of it. I'll be making the most of it. I certainly hope all of you are too. We're going to have these moments during the next bull market where you see crazy price action, and it's going to make your heart jump out of your chest. And another thing about being in many, many assets, I bought some like PSL. I only put $100 in this. Market's blood red today already, and PSL's up 20%. Every day, I have something in green. IDEA is up 3% right now. I'm pretty happy about that. It's only got a $3 million market cap. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful for some good prices here, and that's not just because I want them. It's because I see it in the charts. What else I see is a lot of people who are going to make a lot of money. Over the next year and a half, you're going to be given situations that you're not used to. From someone like me who's poor and who came into a lot of money last time, it will be difficult to maintain. All right? It requires a level head. It requires some dedication. And those who work the hardest will have the easiest time maintaining that money. All right? A lot of people who make this money are going to blow it really fast because they got it the easy way. Without working hard, they just fell into their lap. All right? I don't want that to be you guys. I want you guys to do better than that. I want you to maintain the gains that you've made, not forfeit them back to the market. It's going to be a heck of a ride, and I'm glad that many of you are along with us. All right? I never thought this would be here. From a poor guy from the South who's an idiot, I can barely read. I'm trying to write a book, and dude, I struggle with it so hard. I struggle with it so hard because I can hear myself rambling on paper. That's terrible. No one's going to read that. But I think the story needs to be told no matter what. So thank all of y'all for being here. I super appreciate it. From here on, it's Discord only. We'll make these live streams, but that's it. We're only going to do probably the top 5 coins on these live streams from here on out. It's TA, not tell me what the price is going to be. All right? That's how this channel started. That's how this channel will die. Through TA, through charts and teaching. Not through, hey, Keith, tell me what the price of this is going to be. That's what it turned into. And I've never really been happy about that. And it's kind of never really sat well with me. So we'll do TA and we'll do teaching and we'll do charts only. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you guys next week. Halving party tomorrow. Zoom after this for everybody in the Discord. Dude, we're going to have a good time. I'm so stoked. Thank you all for being here. In the words of the late, great, notorious B.I.G., you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. I appreciate that. You'll never know how much. Make the best of your todays, the worst of your tomorrows. And if no one else told you, Keith will tell you. Keith loves you. Y'all guys have a good one. Sky's the limit. Happy halving. Be good. Peace.